Anime gets a bad rap, and why wouldn't it? The market is oversaturated with moe girls, isekais with increasingly ridiculous premises, and high school harems with pedophilic undertones. But enough about my brother's Blu-ray collection. Because whilst you witless NPCs are having your children propagandized into soft communism by Disney and Marvel, I'm watching based shit like Gunsmith Cats. How based, you might ask? Well, spoiler alert first of all. The entire plot involves a scheme between the ATF and a state senator to enact gun control in order to drive up the price of their illegally trafficked weapons. I mean, good lord, was this OVA written by the ghost of Randy Weaver? From almost the very start of this OVA, we get the feeling that the creators have it out for the ATF, and that is but one reason of many why you should check out Gunsmith Cats. Energy abounds from the outset as each of the 3 episodes begins with a jazzy and fun opening reminiscent of Cowboy Bebop. We're introduced to Raleigh Vincent and May Hopkins, who in typical Japanese style are both barely in their 20s and yet run a gun store, own a large house with a massive arsenal stored in the basement, and moonlight as highly skilled bounty hunters. Basically my childhood dream come true, and thanks to the boomers voting for inflation, I have to live it vicariously through the antics of barely legal anime wenches. Thanks, Dad. Anyways, after taking down a gun runner, Raleigh and May are introduced to Bill Collins, an ATF agent who Raleigh takes an immediate disliking to. They're ultimately coerced into doing some work for the ATF by going undercover to bust a clandestine gun smuggling ring, but as warehouse battles give way to tomboy Ukrainian assassins, Raleigh and Bill begin to suspect that something very big is going down in high places. Glenn, you may ask calmly as you ominously sip tea in the corner of the room. Another OVA starring unusually skilled young females in a far-fetched plot involving conspiracies and over-the-top American-style action. Yes indeed, and as I stated in the Skeban Deca review, this is what female empowerment should look like. Raleigh Vincent doesn't bitch and bemoan the patriarchal system that raises an eyebrow at a certified womb carrier opening up a gun dispensary. She just does it. When a bunch of thieves raid her house, she doesn't trawl the news stations relaying her fears of the growing trend of violence against women. She guns them down in her underwear and lets her sidekick grenade them all straight to the lower circles of Gehenna where they fucking belong. In all seriousness, I find Gunsmith Cats to be an altogether more subtle affair than Skeban Deca, with less supernaturally skilled protagonists and more down-to-earth situations, along with some pretty refreshing and not too heavy-handed commentary on gun control, from the Japanese of all people. Gunsmith Cats is action that the anime snobs can justify clearing a space in their palette for. And if you're an action junkie who hasn't yet gained a taste for a culture, Gunsmith Cats is a fine introduction, as its story is simple yet engaging, and its action, whilst a little sparse at times, is exciting and well animated. Character development? What character development? The only character development Raleigh Vincent engages in is in gaining the restraint to not blow away an ATF agent for merely setting foot on her property. However, in spite of being an agent of the state, Bill Collins is a likeable enough character. A little bumbling, but ultimately skilled and charming, and best of all, he realises the ATF is up to no good. He's kind of like a cross between Jin and Senpai from Sukeban Deca, silly and well-natured, but knows when to issue hot lead injections when he needs to. As for the villains, we have an Eastern European female assassin who looks like the domineering tomboy girlfriend that regularly inhabits your dreams that happen shortly before you wake up drowning in your own seminal fluid and an overwhelming sense of emasculated shame. She's a suitable threat, being that she can survive car explosions and has the resilience of a slasher movie killer. She even gets an epic final scare towards the end. And the guy she's working for? Well, he might just look a little familiar to you.
Grab him by the pussy.
That's right, it's the Donald himself, but it's the 90s and he's here to take your guns away. So, kinda like 2020's Trump now that I think about it. Neither of them have much depth or pathos, like Trump, but then again, neither does the anime itself, so it balances itself out. This is the essence of style over substance. Short-lived, pulpy, and fun. Basically exactly what I think anime should be. If you want something quirky and cute with explosions and guns that satisfies your schizoid conspiracy theorist side that only ever comes out at dinner with your non-existent girlfriend's parents, this is the anime to bolster your well-placed paranoia. I'm DeadEye, and if it glows, it's a Fed.